Welcome back to the ALP podcast. I'm so excited that you guys came back for another episode. We're gonna keep running it back. So, thank you again. And I hope you enjoy this episode. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So, today's episode is about something that is very reoccurring in my life, and sometimes I just don't understand it. But, every time I go through it, get through it, jump over it, go underneath it, God continues to show me another level of Him, another level of faith, another level of trust, in depending on Him. So today's episode is about fear. Oh my God. Fear has been one of those things that has crept up on me probably my whole entire life, and it's one of those things that happens more and more when I'm being pushed into what God is calling me to be into and what He's predestined for us to live in. And sometimes it can get scary because it's like, oh shoot, I've never been here before, so what do you want me to do? So let's picture, for all of us who are scared of heights. Now, I'm not necessarily afraid of heights, but I'll get up there and be like, yeah, I'm not going to be up for too long. Ain't going to be up for too long. Because looking down, it's like, whoa, what's going on? But we never really think about that when we're not necessarily on the way up, but think of it from this perspective. I'm never afraid of a chair when I sit down because I trust that the chair is stable enough to hold me, right? So let's think about this. What is it? The swimmer, the diver. So I'm going up the steps, and I don't necessarily have as much fear of the steps that I have of what I'm about to do, right? So I'm going up the steps. I'm taking all the necessary steps in order to get to the place that I had to take the steps for. And I get up to the edge of the diving board, and here go my legs, just shaking. I get closer to the edge of the diving board, and my heart drops down to my knees. A lot of times in life, when we are taking the necessary steps, it's not like we're not preparing for it, but sometimes we are taking the necessary steps, and we forget that the steps that are being taken is what's preparing you for this dive that you're about to take in faith. So with fear, a lot of times fear and faith can coexist. I'm sorry. For those who don't believe that, you're going to have to show me in the Bible where it doesn't. Because even where it says, I have not given you the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. That's me saying, okay, fear is here, but power, love, and a sound mind is here. There's fear and power, love, and sound mind coexisting, but it's me choosing fear. It's me choosing power, love, and a sound mind. Fear is still available. Fear is still available, but because I'm in God and because I'm in Jesus Christ, I choose power, love, and a sound mind. So, my question to you guys is, what do you do when your faith and your fear coexist, and you really want to choose faith, but some kind of way fear is still trying to overpower you, right? So, I was reading Mark 4. When they were going to, where were they going? I don't even remember. I just know they was on the sea, okay? This is what I know. I know they was on the sea. And there was this huge storm, and winds were hitting the boat, and waves were hitting the boat, and they was just full of fear, right? So then they're like, all right, we terrified out of our mind, but Jesus in there asleep. What's going on with bruh? What's going on with him? He don't feel these way. He don't know. He the son of the living God. What's going on? What's with it? What's going on? So they go wake him. They be like, hey, brother man, we finna die, and you sleep like you don't know what's going on. You don't feel this? You don't feel the boat finna tilt over? You don't feel it? And as he woke up, the first thing he did was rebuke the wind and said to the sea, peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. Here's today's proverb applied. Today's proverb comes from Proverbs 1, verses 24. And it reads, "Because I have called, and ye have refused, I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded." Has there ever been a time in your life where disobedience got you in trouble? Say, for instance, your mom told, we all know this story. Your mama told you not to touch the stove. You decided to touch the stove, and now your hand is swollen. Now you got blisters because you decided to do exactly what I told you not to do. Sometimes we have wounds and we have blisters and we have problems and we have issues and we have questions because we decided not to do what we were told to do. We decided that, it might not be as bad as you think it is. Maybe the hot that you feel ain't the hot I'm going to feel. So I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to try it anyway to see what my result is versus what you think your result is for me, right? And we now have bruises and blisters, and we now have fear and doubt, and we now have problems and situations that we have to deal with on our own, because the Bible tells us that he called. There was reproof that was given. There was an unction that was given, and we refused. So he stretched out his hand. He caused those things to happen. He caused those things to hinder you. He caused those things to put you in a place to where now I got to deal with this, and I'm going to have residue after the end. So the first thing I want us to kind of pay attention to here is, though Jesus saw the sea, he saw fear, he knew power. He knew love. He knew what a sound mind was, right? Though Jesus saw the wind, he saw the waves. He saw what was knocking up against their boat. He saw what was causing people to be afraid. He saw what was causing people to be fearful for what was going on in their lives and if they were going to make it. He saw it, but he knew power. So the first thing he did was rebuke the sea. Said unto the sea, "Peace be still," and the wind would cease. So back to the question, what do you do when faith and fear coexist? For me, the first thing I do is I go back to Second Corinthians. Yeah, it is 2 Corinthians 10:5, where it tells us. Actually, let's go to it. I want to read verbatim. And I love King James Version, especially when I'm going through, baby. Not even going through, but when I just want to make sure that, is it 2 Corinthians 10:5 or 1 Corinthians 10:5? It's 2 Corinthians 10:5, and it says, "Cast down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ." The first thing I do when fear is trying to overtake me is I call it down. That's the first thing I have to do, because for me, fear will make me pee on myself, okay? And I'm not even speaking from I'm speaking from a literal standpoint. I will dead pee on myself if I'm just that afraid. I'm sorry. I don't like the way fear is for me. I'm shaking. I can't breathe. Like, I remember this one time. The first time I ever went to the Holy Convocation. For anybody that knows me, I'm not big on big events with a whole bunch of people, especially people I don't know. Lights, camera, action, all these dresses and big hats, ties, pointy shoes. Listen, it's just a lot going on. Singing everywhere, people everywhere, food everywhere, tables everywhere. Just everywhere you look, you can't listen. There's no break in the convocation. So this was the first time I went to the convocation. The school that I was going to, University of Memphis, we had to sing there. And after that, I had to sing at the midnight musical. So my school had just got done singing. I'm like, okay, what am I about to do? So then I remember, okay, dang, I can't go nowhere. I can't really move around because I got rehearsal. So I'm trying to find my way around where I'm supposed to be going. And I just stop in the middle of the hallway, and I just look around. And immediately, it was hard for me to breathe. I'm like, oh my God, there's so many people. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know why I'm here. And what else started to creep in? Doubt. I don't even think I'm supposed to be here. They got a million singers here. I don't even belong here. I'm finna go. I don't even know how to get to my car. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know how to get home. I don't... So all of this is running through my mind. All of this is running. My heart is racing. My legs is shaking. My legs are noodles at this point because I don't even know where I'm at. I don't know where I'm going. And randomly, the song that calmed me down, it was two of them. The first one was, I will keep you in perfect peace. That one, and there was another one. I don't know why I can't remember it right now, but I had to stop right then and there and calm myself down. But I couldn't do that while fear or those things that were, those thoughts and those ideas, false ideas that have not even happened yet. I promise you, if I would have just went to go look out the window, I would have knew exactly where I was. But I didn't do that. I just stood there and was like, look, bro, I don't know what's going on, why I'm here, what I'm doing, when I got to go do this, how I need to I don't know what's going on. And that's what happened. So I stood in the hallway for a little minute trying to figure out life, and how I was ever going to make it to the house. How I was ever going to make it to the house. So the first thing I had to do was cast down imaginations, right? That's the first thing Jesus did when he woke up from Matthew 4. The first thing he did was speak to what was the first thing he did was speak to that one to oh my God. The first thing he did was speak to what was trying to hinder the minds, the thoughts, the agenda, the will of the Lord in that very moment. Right? So he said this is actually Mark 4 verses. You can read 35 through 41 for the story, but I'm reading 39 through 41. 39 to 41. So 39 says, and he rose and rebuked the wind and said unto the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said unto them, Why are you so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? And they 41, and they feared exceedingly and said one to another, What manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey? So, first thing he did, verse 39, when he rose, he rebuked the wind. If the Bible tells me that he has not given me the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind, and I'm standing in a place where fear is there, the first thing I want to do is talk to the Lord. First thing I want to do is talk to the Lord, because right now my eyes are not seeing this power that you've given me, the love that you're showing me and bestowed upon me, and the sound mind that you've been trying to give me, right? So the first thing I do is talk to the Lord.
Hey, I'm your girl, Dr. Talisa Franklin. I am inviting you to follow me on all social media outlets. Why? Because you want to stay informed with all things positive that's happening in my community at Dr. Talisa Franklin on all platforms, or just go to my website, www.talisafranklin.com. Unlock your vision with Trend Media Studio. Are you ready to elevate your brand and tell your story like never before? At Trend Media Studio, we offer a full production media services that bring your ideas to life, whether it's captivating videos, stunning photography, or dynamic content creation. Our talented team is here to make your vision a reality. Contact us today at 901-281-6337 for more information, and let's create something amazing together.
So yes, the first thing I'm going to do is talk to the Lord. The second thing I'm going to do is rebuke the winds, right? But I one thing that I want us to understand is, in order to rebuke something, to cast down something else, you have to be putting something else in that place, right? Even when David asked God to wash him, make him white as snow, cleanse him, he asked him to renew his spirit. Right? He asked him to put something else back into him, right? So how must we know that? How must we know what to rebuke? We have to know what the truth is, right? So the word of the Lord is going to be the foundation of me overcoming faith. For we are overcome by what? The blood of the Lamb and the word of my testimony. The word of my testimony is something that I can choose. The word of my testimony is something that I can choose. I can either choose what the enemy is trying to give me, or I can choose what Jesus' blood-bought sacrifice gave to me. Right? So I'm going to choose to overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of my testimony. And the testimony that I'm going to choose is the testament, is the word of the Lord. Okay? So talk to the Lord. Rebuke, cast it down. But also give it something that's going to give it structure. So, for example, I could use the diving board. Okay, I'm going to the diving board. Oh my God, I'm scared. I'm finna fall out. But Lord, I really need you. Like I'm really, ain't gonna lie, I'm terrified out of my mind. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to successfully make this dive without your help or without your power. But I remember, Lord, you told me that you've not given me the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So yes, I'm scared, but Lord, I know that greater is he that is within me than he that is within the world. And if you've given me the ability and the strength, your word tells me that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I'm going to believe that the strength of the Lord, that the joy of the Lord will be my strength. I'm going to remember that if you've given me the power and the strength to do these things in Jesus Christ, that I'm going to do them and do them successfully. Right? So 39, he rose. I went to go talk to the Lord. He rebuked the wind. He said, look, you can't stand here. You have no place here. And then he said into the sea, he said, no bad wind, no bad wind. He said, peace be still. So he rebuked the wind and he gave it structure. Its structure was peace. And the wind ceased and there was a great calm. There was a great calm. So back to the question, what do you do when fear and faith are in the same place? How do you choose? I choose by the word of the Lord. I choose by the power that he's instilled in me. I choose by the peace that surpasses all understanding. I choose not to allow fear and doubt to exist in the same place. I'm not going to allow fear and doubt to exist in the same place. But my faith is what's going to overcome them all. So verse 41, and it says, and they feared exceedingly. This is the Lord they're talking about. And they feared exceedingly and said one to another, what manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey? So what I actually want to do is cross-reference right here, because this is something that I think I would like to believe that the same awe that they expressed here was like the same awe of the story in the Bible where the people ripped off the roof of the where Jesus was, where all the people were gathered into it, because the room was so full so they couldn't get in. So they decided to crawl on top of the roof with their friend that needed to be healed, and they lowered him in. Jesus healed him. And he walked out, and the people were out of their wits. They were astounded by what happened, and they wanted a piece of what Jesus did for that man. Here in verse 41, and it says, what manner of man is this, that even the sea and the wind obey? In fear, when I have overcome fear, it gives me a wanting. It gives me a desire to want more. It gives me a desire to want to become this person that God has made me to be, this person of power. Now, I have no more power. I have my power and Jesus' power, two different powers. He has power over the entire universe. He creates and do all. Me, I'm not him. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But in the power that he's given me to tread upon serpents, and the power that he's given me to overcome, and the power that he's given me to become, and the power that he's given me to create, I want more of that, because he showed me that I can overcome these little things with his great power. So even in those little things, I can overcome big things in his great power as well. So that's the end of this episode. I just want to ask you, where's your faith? That was last week. What do you do when your faith and your fear coexist? How do you choose? Thank you for tuning into this episode of the ALP Live podcast with your host, Marsha Shelton. I hope you enjoyed it. Drop in the comments. Has there ever been a time where fear and faith have coexisted in your life? What did you choose? Did you choose fear? Did you choose faith? Let me know in the comment section below. I love you guys. Have a great day. See you later. Bye-bye. Yes, I know you guys thought the episode was over, but I wanted to make sure I cleared up one thing specifically. When I was speaking on Jesus's power and the power on the inside of us not being the same, I am speaking from a perspective of I am not God. I'm not God. I'm not Jesus Christ. Everything that I do, everything that I think, everything, how I move, the strength, the power that we do have is accessed by Jesus Christ. Nothing we do can be accessed without the power of Jesus Christ. The same power that raised Jesus from the dead is the same power that is within us. But the difference between us and him is he is power. He is the way. He is the light. He is the life. He is the source. That's like plugging up the computer, turning it on, and looking at me saying, why you not going to the internet? No. I'm accessing the internet through the mouse, through the monitor. I'm accessing it. And Jesus is our mediator. So yes, the same power that raised Jesus from the dead is on the inside of us, but we are not power. We are accessing power. We have leadway to get to power through the power of Jesus Christ. Okay? All right. Now the episode is over with. See you later. Bye.